Hi YouTube, it's Taiwan, and I'm trying this again this Sunday Funday. Let's just see if we can go live and talk about what's happened in the news, or at least what has happened on Twitter that I caught wind of, or that I thought was important enough to take notes about to talk about on today. Um, I'll briefly get into what I want to talk about, and a lot of Hollywood nasties this week, but not just Hollywood, a lot of nasties this week. We know that when I say that, I'm just talking about all these people who are getting called out for sexual assault and sexual abuse and all these other things. So, hi. See, you got somebody in here. Just give me a hello. Tell me what it is you want to talk about. I'll briefly run down what I have on for today. Hi, King. How are you doing? Thank you for coming. So, I'm just going to keep it going. I want to talk about these Twitter comments from Gabby Douglas and Nicki Minaj's paper photo cover and her photo spread, and Terry Crews, his Good Morning America interview, and what Darius McCrary basically had to say about it. And then in Hollywood nasties, or nasties in general, we have Sylvester Stallone. And these are just people who are getting called out. Not that they necessarily did it. You're welcome. I love you. I love you too. I appreciate you dropping in. And we had Brett Ratner, and hot off the presses today, we had Russell Simmons getting called out. Tom Sizemore, the actor, got called out this week, and Wes Goodman, the Republican state representative from Ohio. And also hot off the presses, Donald Trump versus LeVar Ball. That was something that I just saw. I see we got somebody else in here. Just give me a hello. Tell me hi, who you are, where you're from, and what you want to talk about. Before I get completely into the video, I do want to give some thank yous to some of my new subscribers. And let's see, so I told you I love you like hell, baby. Oh, well, thank you, King. I appreciate that. So we got new subscribers. Hazel's Reptiles. Go and check her out. She has her own YouTube channel. And Liddell Hawkins, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Ronell, I believe is how his name is pronounced, Bradley. He has a YouTube channel where he discusses current events. Hey, Dee Dee, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. We also have Ping, the King of Weight Loss. His name of his channel says what he's all about. Check him out. Thank you, Dominica Vegan Goddess, for subscribing. And thank you, Johnny Williams, for subscribing. And thank you, 23 Drift King Mobile, for subscribing. Also, check his channel out. He has a channel as well. We got to get him back up to 1,000 subscribers. So let me go on and get started then. One of the first things that I want to talk about is Gabby Douglas, the gymnast, the black U.S. Gymnast. I saw her name trending on Twitter in the middle of the week, and was wondering why she was trending, hoping that it was something good, because I'll be honest, I have been a fan of Gabby Douglas for a while. Come to find out, though, that she was trending because she basically kind of blamed, in a way, and they like to call it victim blaming, her U.S. gymnastics teammate, Aly Raisman, who we talked about last week. Aly Raisman is the gymnast who came back, and who came out and said that she was being sexually abused or sexually assaulted by the team doctor, Dr. Larry Nassar. And Larry Nassar had also, 130 other or so gymnasts come out to say the same thing. Well, Gabrielle tweeted, and I want to be sure I read this correctly, that it is our responsibility as women to dress modestly and to be classy. Dressing in a provocative, sexual way entices the wrong crowd. Now, y'all, in general, I would agree with this comment. Not that no matter how you dress, it does not give a man a right to rape you. But I will say that sometimes dressing a certain way in public, yeah, it can entice the wrong crowd. However, I believe that in what Gabby is saying regarding her teammate, her gymnastics teammate, they all wear the same leotard. So in this case, I'm gonna have to call Gabby out. And I mean, I just saw her getting roasted on Twitter, and I hate that for her because I do like Gabby. And I did, she's an amazing gymnast. And apparently she didn't get along that well with her teammates because at least Simone Biles, the other black gymnast who got a lot of recognition in these last Olympics, was came out and basically tweeted saying that she wasn't surprised that Gabby would say something like this, and basically, kind of drug Gabby a little bit. But said that she stands with her teammates, and it seems like maybe Gabby and the other teammates didn't have that really good of a history of getting along well with each other. So I want to know from y'all: do you think that Gabby deserves a second chance, or no? When everybody was talking about Gabby for her hair, saying that her hair was nappy and blah blah. I was like one of the main people who was taking up for her on social media. These roastings things these days. I know people love to roast somebody on social media, King. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, I just felt like people were being way too hard on her. She was a young girl, at that point. I think that she's maybe 22 or 23 now. And I think that for me, I kind of stick her in my mind still as that teenager who she was when I was first introduced to her. But I felt like grown ass people were being way too hard on her when she was a girl for her hair. And I'm like, okay, she's a gymnast, she's an athlete. I appreciate that, King. She's a gymnast, she's an athlete, but and her hair is going to sweat. And that's what Afro texture hair does. We're not white people. Our hair doesn't stay silky straight all the time. And so I felt bad for her then. And so a lot of people were saying, all the comments that they, had in her defense, they were taking them back now for what she said, about this girl and this incident. Now, I don't believe, that's the case. I think that you can like people and call them out when they're being wrong or take their side when they're being right. But in this instance, I do have to agree with the masses and say that Gabby was just wrong. Now, she has since come out and apologized for the way that she said what she said. But, at first she wasn't backing down, and I guess that she kind of really feels that way. But just specifically in the vacuum of the gymnastics world, that was just really the wrong comment to make because, again, like I said, they all wear the same leotard, so it's not like any of those girls were going into the team doctor and dressing provocatively. Gymnasts hardly wear anything anyway. They're all basically wearing leotards or, tight, somewhat, not tight, but Twitter reveal, I'm reading your comment. What's her Twitter name? I don't know. I think that she just goes by Gabby Douglas. But gymnasts don't wear a lot of clothes. They're gymnasts, and so I just think that was the wrong thing to do. So that's that. Now, unless y'all have any comments about Gabby, then I'll wait for a second and see. Do y'all have any comments? Okay, tell me, do y'all think that Gabby should be given a second chance? Okay, bestie. Do y'all think that she should be given a second chance, or do you think that she should be roasted and her career should be over this Twitter comment? I kind of feel like the apology maybe was something that her publicist made her do, or somebody, a manager. I see we got somebody else in. Hello, just give me a hello. We're just here talking about what we're talking about. So on to Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj had her shoot with Paper Magazine. Y'all know that they're the ones who are, I guess, kind of infamous for the very sexy, overly sexualized magazine covers. They tried to break the internet with Kim Kardashian's nude photo shoot where she was balancing the glass on her behind. And they were looking to do the same thing with Nicki Minaj's photo cover, magazine cover. And basically they had Nicki Minaj. Tell me if y'all saw this cover. I mean, it's been everywhere on social media, or at least I've only been on Twitter, but it's been all over Twitter. So they basically took a picture of her for the cover, and the theme was like menage a trois, as if she's having a menage a trois with herself. There was a picture of her seated on a chair, and then there was a picture of her standing behind herself, grabbing one of her breasts. Now, in the picture where she's in the chair, she has her breasts completely exposed except for pasties over her nipples. And then she's also, the other picture was her on the floor looking like she's getting ready to give herself oral sex in the last pose. And okay, King, I know that you said that you like her, so I'm not trying to diss your girl. And Nikki, her fans seem to be super fans, the Barbs. And Dee Dee, I see that you saw it too, so I do want to know what y'all's opinions are of the cover, and if y'all saw the spread photos as well. Oh, you didn't see it yet? Just take a look on the internet, look it up, check it, look her up on Twitter, and I'm sure you'll see the picture. So, for me, I thought that it was tasteless. I'm not big on, and I don't consider myself necessarily a prude, but I don't like pornography, and it darn near looked pornographic to me, and it's unnecessary for Nicki Minaj, I think. She's old enough, she's established enough. Yeah, I agree. It is a style of paper magazine. It was not my taste, but that is what they do. Oh, you've been offline, King. Okay. So yeah, my thing is she's established. This isn't like it's some 21-year-old rapper trying to make it to the scene, so you have to do things that you normally wouldn't do and put yourself in compromising positions. She doesn't have to do this. So either she wanted to do it, or either she's just trying to make some kind of noise because she's still feeling threatened by what is her name, Cardi B coming, and maybe there's some other female rappers who looks like they're coming up and taking her crown as the queen of hip hop. So I think that she's kind of just desperate, because my thing is, where's the music, Nikki? And I'm not a big fan of her music. I don't dislike her. I'm just like kind of not really into hip hop that way. But where's the music? We had Nicki Minaj just about 2 weeks ago tweeting about how women are not respected in the industry the way that men automatically are. And that's true. But then you come out and you do this. Do you think that this magazine cover puts you in any kind of position for people to look at you in a respectful way? I don't think that it was smart for her to do. I don't think that it was necessary for her to do, because she is Nicki Minaj. She doesn't have to bow down and do the things that, some girl off the street who's just, coming off of whatever block in Brooklyn trying to make it. She doesn't have to do that, And so anyway, Eve, the rapper, I don't know if I would call her a former rapper. I don't know if she's going to do any more music, but Eve had some comments about Nicki Minaj's paper cover. And she's a co-host now on the show The Talk, which I've never watched, but she's replacing Aisha Tyler. And that's the show. It has Sharon Osbourne, whatever that girl, the girl who used to play Darlene on Roseanne, and some heavyset black woman. I can't remember, y'all. All these shows are so much alike. The View, The Talk, The Real. And I hate all those panel talk shows. It's just a bunch of women talking over each other, so it's not my thing. I think that Julie Chen is on there as well. So anyway, Eve came out and said that she likes Nicki Minaj. She said that she got to work with her on the set of Or That Girl. What girl, King? She got to work with her on the set of The Barbershop, and she said that she's a nice girl, and as a lyricist that she respects her, but she said that as a woman in this day and age that she does not think that what she did was a good idea. Now, she said that an artist is free to express themselves however they want to, so she said Nicki Minaj had every right to do it, but she just said that as a woman in this day and age, and because of like kind of the climate of the world in general and hip hop in particular, that it probably wasn't the best move. The one that I was talking about. Okay, I'm not sure who I was talking about, but anyway, so she's saying that that it's not a move that she would make, because whether you want to be one or not, when you're out in the spotlight like that, and Nicki Minaj has millions of fans, you become a role model, whether it's a role that you sign up for or not. You just become a role model. So little girls are looking at her and, thinking, saying to their mom, "Oh, mom, I want to be like Nicki Minaj," and then this is the kind of image that you put out. Not that Nicki Minaj, nobody has any kind of obligation to children, to anybody's children but their own. I understand that, but that's just Eve's opinion. And so quite naturally, Nicki Minaj's fans, the super fans, the Barbs, they just came after Eve, and they like to call out Eve on her own past because if y'all are aware, whether you're aware or not, Eve used to be a stripper before she got into the rap game. And when she was getting started, she was dating Stevie J, who was then a really hot producer, but now he's just a reality personality on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And apparently they have a sex tape, and there's, pictures of Eve doing wild things, when she was at a strip club, when she was working as a stripper, but this was before she became a rapper. And my thing is, everyone has a past. And I don't think that her fans, that Nicki Minaj's fans, should hold Eve's past against her and use that as a reason that she can't criticize her. I kind of feel like, if anything, Eve is in a better position to speak on what Nicki Minaj is doing better than anyone, better than a lot of rappers, because she's kind of been in that sexual vein of the entertainment industry, but that's not what she's about now. So I had issues with Nicki's fans coming for her. 20 years, she was a stripper. Exactly. That is her past. That's exactly how I feel, Dee Dee. She was a stripper. And so I think that she has every right to make a comment about her. And just like she said, Nicki has every right, to do that photo shoot if that's what she wants to do. But my thing is, Nicki Minaj is 34 years old. She's not some 21-year-old who's trying to make it in the game. She's well established, has her money set, and another thing is she just, was this something to try to get some distraction off of the fact that her brother is now been found guilty of raping this his 11-year-old at the time, his 11-year-old stepdaughter, and he's going to be sentenced. Because if y'all notice, Nicki Minaj has a history of doing like publicity stunts whenever anything was going on with her brother's criminal case. And so maybe it's kind of just like, to get people to stop talking about him, I'll do this really crazy, extra sexy, extra sexual photo shoot, and maybe that'll get people to stop talking about my brother Jelani. Maybe, and some people were even going as far as to say that she loves her brother so much that she did that photo shoot so that he would have something to jack off to in prison. I thought that was kind of low, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts? Did y'all see the spread? Do you like it? And then, okay, so that was just the cover that I described. But then the spread itself, it was more, of the same. There was like a scene where she's in a hot tub, and you know, it was just basically like Nicki Minaj having a threesome with herself. There was another scene where she was on the bed with her legs open, and one of the Nicki Minaj's is playing with her vagina or something. It was really tasteful, really tacky. Hi, Ryan Doughboy, how are you doing? So you haven't missed a lot. We just talked about Gabby Douglas's Twitter comments about her former teammate accusing their team doctor of sexually assaulting her. And now we're talking about Nicki Minaj's paper magazine cover photo shoot. Don't know if you saw that. So yeah, what do y'all think? Did y'all see Nicki Minaj's pictures? Um, do y'all think that it was okay? Do y'all think that it was too much? Are y'all like me, just wondering where the music is? Because I don't know how long it's been since she's released an album. She's done a lot of features. She's a feature queen, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's making her money doing features. But let's see. Right Up Boy says Nicki Minaj always tries her best to be trashy, and she's better than that. Yeah, she does seem to be better than that. And I'm going to go to another screen so that I can view these comments as they're coming in. I would agree. She's better than that. I'll take a look later. Yeah, I bet you will take a look later, King. You already told us you're a fan, and I'll say she's a beautiful girl. Her face looks pretty. Her makeup is pretty. You know, she does her long wigs, and her body's on point. Yes, we know she's had a lot of plastic surgery, but she has a good surgeon, and all of her stuff is in the right place. But my thing is, she could have worn everything that she was wearing in those shoots and not just been overtly sexual, like pretending to give herself oral sex. Like, she, at this point, she's just looking thirsty, and she doesn't have to do that because of who she is. She is, until Cardi B officially takes her crown or someone else does it, she still is at the top of the game in rap, in hip hop for females. So she doesn't have to do all these things. I thought it was very sexy. That's great, but her fans are very young, and she needs to understand that. Exactly, and that's Rido Boy. That's what the rapper Eve was saying, and that was the criticism that she made. And of course, all of Nicky's fans came for her, and just kind of went on and said, "Well, so you were stripping." They started posting old pictures of her when she was stripping, and it was just stupid. Okay, so that's it about Nicki Minaj. Unless y'all have some more comments about that, I'll wait a couple of seconds. I'll give it 10 seconds. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is this Terry Crews interview on Good Morning America. Let me get a sip of my water, please. Okay, so we had Terry Crews, who we talked about last week. The big black man, the actor who got groped by, let's see, Ryder was his Eve has a past too, but she has learned a lot also. So is grown. Nicky should learn from her. Exactly. That's what I said before you came on. Eve does have a past. Yes, she was a stripper. Yes, I believe that there's even a sex tape of her and Stevie J that's been floating around for years and years before she really got into the rap game. But it's like, there are things that I think that a lot of girls do. I think that there are things that a lot of girls do when they're trying to break into the industry that maybe they feel like they have to do to kind of compromise themselves and be a little bit more sexual than they want to be. But once you get to a certain point, you don't do those things anymore. And that's kind of how Eve has been. Did you know Hazel Reptiles has a long time or just now bestie? Okay, I'm not sure what you're asking me, King. I'm not understanding that. Okay, I'll go back to it. So, Terry Crews, y'all. We talked about him last week, and he made she married a millionaire, so Eve won in the end. So it is what it is. Yeah, and I want to think that I've heard that her husband is, in fact, a billionaire. I don't know, but I know that he's extremely wealthy, and Eve's going to be okay. She doesn't even need that job on the talk. I think that she kind of just wants something to do. She's certainly not doing it for the money. But, okay, so we got Terry Crews. We talked about him last week. He, very shortly, maybe 2 or 3 days after all of the Harvey Weinstein allegations started breaking, Terry Crews did that 16-tweet, not rant, but, exposing what happened to him, saying that he was attacked by a man in the industry, a big-time Hollywood agent, and who grabbed his penis at a party in front of his wife, and talked about how emasculated he felt in that moment, and how he can understand why a lot of women don't come out and say things when something happens to them. So that was 2 weeks ago, or over 2 weeks ago. And then last week we talked about how he did finally go on and went to the police department to file a police report against this individual. Well, this week, Terry Crews came on out and did an interview on Good Morning America. And what's his name? Michael Strahan interviewed Terry Crews about the assault. And Terry Crews, y'all, he was very passionate. He named his sexual assaulter. And let's see here. The original tweet was on October the 10th, and he did not name him then, but he named him this time, and his name is Adam Bennett, who I've never heard of, but He's the head of motion pictures at an agency called William Morris Endeavor, and that's apparently one of the biggest agencies in the world. And at this party, Terry Crews and his wife apparently were guests of Adam Sandler's. And what Terry was describing in that interview was saying that the man who sexually assaulted him, Adam Bennett, was eyeing him all night and making very lewd and overtly sexual tongue gestures at him all night. That's great. These people need to be named and shamed. I agree 100%, Rido Boy. So he said that he's making these weird gestures with his tongue, and then so finally he gets the chance to just meet the man face to face. I guess he's introduced to him, and Terry Crews goes to shake out his hand to, stick out his hand to shake his hand, and when Terry Crews stuck out his hand, the Adam Bennett stuck out his hand, but to grab Terry's penis, with his wife standing right next to his side. And Terry said that he never felt so emasculated in all of his life. He said that he was very angry and he wanted to just punch this man. His wife was there and was able to calm him down and was able to talk him down. But like I said earlier, Adam Sandler invited him to this event. And you might not know Adam Bennett's name, the agent, but you do know his client's name. He said that this man is Adam Sandler's agent. This man is also Sylvester Stallone's agent, who we'll get into a little bit later as well. This man is also Eddie Murphy's agent. So it's like he doesn't have any B-list celebrities, on his list. He's a very powerful agent in Hollywood. And Terry knew that if he were to beat this man up, then the headline is just going to be, big black man, Terry Crews, beats up this, this small white guy, and Terry Crews is a thug, and he, like he said in one of his tweets earlier in the month, that headline would be the headline for the night, not what happened to him, not anything about him getting groped by this man in front of his wife and feeling emasculated. That wouldn't be the story, but it wouldn't matter because he wouldn't even be able to see the story because he'd be in jail. But he said that his wife was able to calm him down, and she even told him that something like this would happen to him. But he said that he went down to his car. They'd only been at the party for about 30 minutes. He said that he got in that car and he said that he just wanted to rip the steering wheel off of the column. He was so angry. But he said that his wife kept calming him down and telling him that she was proud of him, for how he handled himself. And then he said that it just went away because this was in February of 2016 that this happened. But he said that when all the allegations started coming out against Harvey Weinstein, that it just brought it back up for him. And that's why he went on and did what he did. First, it was just the tweets. And then he went and filed a police report. And then he had that interview this week. I'm looking to see if there's any more notes that I have about it. But yeah, in the interview, he said that people need to be held accountable. And he's right. Just kind of like Ride Doughboy said, these people need to be named and shamed. And I agree. And it's really messed up, the reaction that I'm seeing from a lot of, it's mostly black men who I see, but it's other people, but mostly black men who are shaming Terry Crews for coming out and saying something, because they're just like, oh, you a 6'5", 270-pound dude, you should have been able to handle him, man. I would have did this, I would have did that. And like my fiance and I, when we were talking earlier today and I was telling him about it, he said, yeah, it's easy for people to say that who don't have anything to lose. People who haven't built a multi-million-dollar career doing what they love, it's very easy for someone like that to, just sit back and say what you would have done in that instance. You don't know what you would have done. Let me see these comments. Sadly, true media loves to say poor white people are the most racist, but the media and the system are the real racists. I actually do agree with that, Rido Boy. Bestie, I'm making you a next shout out, Bestie. Okay, thank you, King. Yeah, I agree. The media can be very racist, and I think the media plays a big part in fueling the fires of racism. I think that they want to get black people and white people against each other, when we might not necessarily feel that way about each other. We might all be okay with each other, but I think that the media fuels the fire. Sometimes, from flames that do exist, and sometimes from flames that don't. I think that they create a fire um, between the races. And so now, to piggyback off of the Terry Crews story, we have Darius McCrary, and y'all tell me if y'all remember him from Family Matters. He was the one who played the brother of Laura. I believe his name was Eddie on the show. I was not a big Family Matters fan. That just wasn't my thing. I wasn't into that show like that. Um, but anyway, TMZ decided to catch up with him for a comment, and they asked him, I don't know if they even asked him what they thought about Terry Crews in particular, but he was just talking about how all these people are coming out with these allegations now. He says that, he got touched when he was young, when he was a much younger actor, and they asked, well, was it on the set of Family Matters? And he just said, well, it was when I was a lot younger. He's like, but I'm not bringing it up now because I'm not thirsty. And I'm like, what? Okay, but you just brought it up. You probably aren't saying the name, but you did bring it up. And I mean, I'm sorry, but we haven't really seen you doing anything as big as you did since Family Matters. So maybe you should be a little bit thirsty. But don't try to shame Terry Crews or anybody for speaking up about allegations, sexual abuse that they went through. That does not make them thirsty, especially if it really happened. No, that does not make them thirsty. And so I don't even know why TMZ caught up with him. That was just such a weird thing. And you can't tell me that he's not actually thirsty in real life. You brought it up, dude. You said it for a reason. So are you hoping that the person who did it, that they see your interview and, give you some money to be quiet about it? Because the other thing that I've seen about him is that he's been complaining that he can't pay his child support because he only made $500 last year. So if that is in fact true, not only are you thirsty, you are hungry, and you need to be talking about it so that you can feed your damn child. So I can't with these people who want to come out and shame Terry Crews or anybody else. Terry Crews, any man, any woman, for speaking about things that actually did happen to them, if they have in fact happened. So let me get to these comments. The media would make Terry look like a fool, but the real people who have a brain would support him. I agree. And the media, I think, is handling it quite well. It's just people on social media who are coming out with their opinions, saying, oh, you a 265-pound, 6'5" black man. You ought to be able to handle that. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I think that it speaks a lot more about the power that this agent thought that he had to have the gall to approach Terry Crews, and not his color aside, his build. This man is like 97% muscle. His arms are like this big, and like that's like, doing the same thing to Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, or The Rock, who goes up to them and starts trouble. And Terry said that after the incident was over and he was leaving, he said that the agent was looking at him with this smirk on his face that kind of, in Terry's opinion, said like, oh, who are you going to tell? Who's going to believe you? And so, like I said, that was 2016, and here we are now. I'm going to get a sip of my water. Any thoughts on Terry Crews or Darius McCrary talking about Terry Crews and these victims who were speaking out before we move on to the next topic? And thank you, each and every one of you, for coming in here. Everybody who's in here, especially if you have a channel, please let us know so that everyone who's in the chat, and even me, we can all subscribe to your channel. If y'all give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that too, so I can get some more little traction on my videos. And now I'm going to the next set of topics, and y'all tell me if there's anything that y'all want to talk about too. So now I only have the chat up on my phone. Thank you for that thumbs up, whoever gave it to me. Okay, so like I said, that agent who grabbed Terry Crews was Adam Sandler's agent, Eddie Murphy's agent, and also Sylvester Stallone's agent. And some very disturbing stuff came out about Sylvester Stallone this week. I saw his name trending on Twitter, and I appreciate that, King. Thank y'all for supporting me. Um, so, what happened with Sylvester Stallone? This story's a little bit different because he got called out for sexual assault this week for something that happened a long time ago, but it's not the victim who's coming out to call him out. The Daily Mail, they obtained a police report that was filed in 1986 by a 16-year-old girl. Um, this was back when he was filming the movie called Over the Top in Las Vegas. At the time, he was 40 years old, and this, like I said, young girl was 16. She met him because her family was staying in the hotel where he was staying, and I guess even maybe where part of the movie was being filmed. I believe it was at a Hilton in Las Vegas, and her family was staying there on vacation for 10 days. The 16-year-old girl met the actor who was playing Sylvester Stallone's son in the movie, and he introduced her and her cousin and a friend of hers to Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone gave her friend a kiss on the cheek, and she was a little bit jealous and said, "Oh, she wishes she could get a kiss from him." And the next thing you know, what she gets is the keys to his hotel room. And this is all allegedly. This is going by the police report. This is what was in the police report. His bodyguard, whose name was Michael DeLuca, handed her a set of keys to his hotel room and said something along the lines of, you're going to get a kiss that's even better than that, later. And so she admitted, that she went up to Stallone's hotel room and she wanted to have sex with him. And they were engaging in sex, which she has said that she was fine with. She, didn't claim to be any kind of innocent kid or whatever. She wanted to have sex with Sylvester Stallone. The power goes all to these Hollywood types' heads is crazy. Yeah, I agree. And it is a power trip, and that's what Terry Crews was saying, that, people are just abusing their power. So, back to Stallone, the issue was that this girl said that she was forced into a threesome with his bodyguard. The whole time, apparently, that Stallone and the young girl were in the bed having sex, the bodyguard was in the bathroom. And she said that at a point he mentioned to her while they were in the middle of intercourse that she was very tight. And they asked her if she'd ever had sex with two men at the same time. And the next thing that she sees, Stallone is going into the bathroom, and he brings out his bodyguard, whose name is Michael DeLuca. I believe he was 27 years old at the time. And again, she was fine with having sex with just Sylvester Stallone, but not with Michael DeLuca. And she said that she felt that she was forced to. She didn't say that anyone hit her or, but she said that her head was kind of like pushed down toward his genitals, and she said she felt forced to give him oral sex, the bodyguard, Michael DeLuca. And while she was giving him oral sex, then Stallone was penetrating her from behind. And then she says that they switched positions, and, so whatever. And I I read the details of the report, you guys, and I didn't want to believe it because I do like Sylvester Stallone, like a lot of people. I won't say that I can just say that I believe it, but I'll say that it's very believable. Um, and here's why. Well, the girl also said that when it was over, that she was told by Stallone and Michael DeLuca not to tell anybody, that she couldn't tell anybody because they were both married men. And if she did tell anybody, that they would have to bash her head in. And so that was how that encounter ended. Now, she did go to the police and she did file this report, like I said, that the Daily Mail dug up. So she filed this report that the Daily Mail dug up on Stallone. And I think it's odd that they were just able to dig this up. This is so crazy to me. But anyway, they were able to dig up the report, and she, oh my God, you guys. Okay, don't know who this girl is. She's not the one who came forward with this, like we said, and that's why I think it's a little bit more believable. This isn't some woman now who's 50 something just coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, Sylvester Stallone raped me." No, she still hasn't come out as far as I know. I still don't know who she is. But this police report was dug up, and they're just putting Stallone's business out there. Now, we don't know if he did it. Stallone is denying it, as far as I know, and the bodyguard, Michael DeLuca, is now dead. He died in 2013. He was killed by the police during a traffic stop. So we'll never know his side of the story. But at the time, Sylvester Stallone was married to Brigitte Nielsen, a very sought after, blah, 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 boom, all the curves type of actress, in 1986. Um, Now, the girl that she made the claim, she filed the report, but then she signed a no prosecution form. She didn't want to go through with it. She said that she was just embarrassed. Like you hear so many people say, she was embarrassed, she was ashamed. But this is why I think it's a little bit believable, you guys, because she said that she was at this hotel with her family, I believe, from July 18th through July 28th for a 10-day vacation. The police apparently at least approached DeLuca. I think the police approached both of them regarding this. She didn't file she filed she signed the no prosecution form, but she did file a report. But the police did confiscate DeLuca's weapon, Michael DeLuca's weapon, Sylvester Stallone's bodyguard, on July the 30th, 1986. So all of this within this timeline, to me, it just does not seem coincidental. She met Sylvester Stallone on July the 23rd. I don't remember the date of this report, but only a few days later, then his bodyguard's concealed weapon permit is confiscated. So things are adding up to make it look like this is at least believable. And then 1 year later, guys, and this is something that I never knew, Stallone's own half-sister accused him of sexually assaulting and raping her. Her name is Tori Ann Felitti, and she threatened him with a lawsuit, but I guess that she didn't go through with it. And if that's something that y'all want me to talk about in another video, then let me know, because I'm willing to do the research on that to see exactly what was going on with that, because I think that he was still married to Brigitte Nielsen at that time too. Now that's all that I have on that, so let me go to the comments now and see what y'all have said. Let's see. Okay, so Rido Boy said that the media would make Terry look like a fool, but the real people who have a brain would support him. I kind of get what he's getting at, but he said it in a very wrong way. Okay, now I'm probably skipping ahead. So are you talking, Rido Boy, about Terry Crews? I'm guessing I skipped ahead, so I'm missing. Okay, King said he's still supporting me. Thank you. You're welcome, bestie. We'll always support you. I appreciate that. Then Rido Boy said the power, okay, goes to all these Hollywood types heads. Yeah, so of course back to Terry Crews. Yeah, he said that this guy was clearly on a power trip, and when people abuse their power in that way, then they do need to be called out. He said that if the story had gone the way that it could have gone, and he just, beat up this guy, the narrative would have been, look at this black thug, just beating up on somebody. And he said, I'm not a thug, I'm an artist. And I'm like, just because I'm a big black guy, he's like, I survived the NFL, made it to my acting career, and I have this, and now, well, here we are. Okay, and so Rido Boy said, that's so weird. Why would a 16-year-old want his old ass when there's so many young actors? That's super weird. Did she have a thing for old guys? I kind of think, Rido Boy, that maybe it wasn't so much of her having a thing for old guys, but probably just having a thing for celebrities. And, and I don't think that you kind of, I'm trying to remember what Sylvester Stallone looked like. Now, I did see a couple of pictures from him when I was reading the article, like pictures from him in 1986 and 87, and I can't say that he necessarily looked 40 years old, but I think that maybe for a lot of these young girls or like even groupies, that it's kind of more so the excitement of being with a celebrity. You know, not to say that she would go for someone, a celebrity who is 90 years old or something, but you know, you gotta think in terms of, you know, like Sylvester Stallone and maybe kind of what he represented, that, you know, macho male. He was all about, you know, the body and everything. And so maybe he didn't seem like a 40-year-old guy to her. He was probably about the same age as her father, you know, when this happened, but that's probably not at all what she, and I don't know, because I'm not in this girl's mind, but that's probably not at all what she had in her head, you know, thinking of him being old. I think she was just thinking of him being Sylvester Stallone, you know. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. But yeah, it is weird because, like I said, she met the boy who played his son, which I'm guessing that boy would have been more her age. But you know, Sylvester Stallone was a big thing at that point. So um, I must have missed. I heard. I thought that it was very. No. This was not recent. This was in 1986. He's 71 now, and yeah. This was in 1986 when he was 40 years old. So and I guess that he probably was a young looking 40. You know, taking care of himself. He's got to look good for his movie roles, and you know, you got money, and that makes you look good. He was an action star in 1986. Yeah, exactly. Black Women Band Up says, that's crazy. Well, people should know that just, um, people should know that just drop by to say, hey, oh, thank you. Black Women Band Up, do you have a channel too? Because what we're trying to do is get everybody who has a channel to subscribe to everybody's channel. So just let us know if you have a channel, and so we can all subscribe to you too. Um, okay, less weird, I guess. Yeah, I do think that it's a lot less weird for a 16-year-old to be attracted to a 40-year-old than a 71-year-old. That would be very creepy, if she was going for him now. But yeah, so, but still, you know, Sylvester Stallone knew what his age was, and he knew what her age was, and she also made some comment in the report saying that he was saying to her, like, you know, something about like, how did a 16-year-old get stacked like that? You know, like, you know, have a body like that. And so he made some really, if what she's saying is true, he made some really creepy comments, you know, to her. And so I just think that's weird. So I'll wait a few more seconds to see if y'all have anything more to say about Sylvester Stallone before I move on to the next topic. So I'll grab a sip of my water and wait and see if y'all got anything else to say. And again, thank you everybody for coming in, sticking in, for giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate all of you. Okay, so now we're on to Brett Ratner. Okay, let me tell you something. Before I get on him, you know, I told y'all last week, and I told y'all the week before, that ever since this Harvey Weinstein thing came out, that the stories, they're not going to stop anytime soon. And what I wasn't prepared for, though, was just how many there were going to be once I was able to get back to y'all since just last week. Now, I don't have stories on all these people, so if y'all hear these names, I'm watching the comments. I'm going to write down. Y'all tell me who y'all want me to talk about, because I didn't get to everybody. Something came out about Jameis Winston, the football player. Something came out about Benny Medina. He's the one who was the basically producer and creator for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Something came out about Al Franken, the Democratic politician. Something came out about Ryan Seacrest. Something came out about Richard Dreyfuss. Rebel Wilson made some I guess, well, she just said what her experience was with sexual abuse in Hollywood. Somebody else came out and said something about George H.W. Bush. There were more stories about Ray Moore, the Republican politician in Alabama. Something came out about James Woods. Something came out regarding One Tree Hill and Bijou Phillips, who I don't even know who that is, but I saw the name trending, and it seemed like a lot of people. I told y'all I'm not a big movie person. I'm not a big like pop culture person. Like I said, outside of Twitter, I would not know anything. And then Daisy Goodwin. I think that those last two were actually making accusations, and then some more stuff came out about Kevin Spacey. I just saw that, like for him, it was like another a theater venue somewhere in the UK says that 20 men now have made allegations of various sorts, sexual assault and sexual harassment claims against him. 20 men, y'all. And then Lena Dunham. Um, didn't research everything regarding her, but she's not accusing anyone. Uh, Basically, y'all, this is a person who I do not like. I don't understand. Now, I'm not a feminist, so let me just put that out there. I don't understand this new age feminism, and Lena Dunham calls herself a feminist, but I think that she's really, really confused. But anyway, she had just tweeted, after all the Harvey Weinstein stuff came out, saying that, women will lie about what they ate for lunch, but women don't lie about getting raped. That's one thing that they just don't lie about. Well, then some accusations came out against, I believe, a writer for the show that Lena Dunham is on, Girls, on HBO. Some women came out accusing him of some things. And so then she basically backpedaled and said that, what is being said about her friend, the writer for her show, well, that can't be true. But Lena, you just told us that women don't lie about getting raped, so what's really the truth, So anyway, that was why I wrote her name down, and if y'all hear, like I said, if any of those names that I just rattled off, all of those names came out this week. So if any of that is something I want me to talk about, just put down the name. I'll write it down and we can talk about it next week. But I couldn't even keep up, y'all. It was like I had a full, let me see. Can y'all see this? I had a full page of just names. I wasn't even able to get the whole stories down. I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just, do my research before I go on live, but not realizing that I would need probably 4 hours to go into all these stories of all these people. But yeah, okay, so now let me go back before I get into this about Brett Ratner. Let me see if there are any more comments that I missed. I want to try to get everybody's comments because it's not so many people in here that I can't. Okay. Okay, so Black Women Band Up. Did you tell us if you have a channel or not? So we can subscribe to your channel too. Okay, Ride the Boy. Okay, less weird. Okay, Eminem. King, are you saying that something came out about Eminem this week? Okay, so Ride the Boy asked Eminem. Yeah, Eminem, not much people talked about him. What did he do? Okay, Black Women Band Up said yes. Okay, I'm not sure what you're agreeing to there. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to go through my stories and keep up with the comments too. Drift King says, it was in the Illuminati. Did you not know that? Okay, King, what are you talking about with Eminem? Because I hadn't heard anything with him. The only thing I saw about, I think I saw him trending because maybe he went on Saturday Night Live or something like that. Oh yeah, the Al Franken thing was crazy. And do you want me to talk about that? Tell me. Okay, so yeah, tell me, and I'll go back to those comments. So Brett Ratner, y'all, and okay, again, I'm not big on all of these names, but I kept hearing his name, and I believe that he's a producer in Hollywood. He might be a director, but Melanie Kohler. Now, this was a story that came out in the Hollywood Reporter, and again, everything that I'm saying is just alleged until something or unless something different happens or is said. Melanie Kohler, she's a Hawaiian native. She's a filmmaker. She accused Brett Ratner of rape on a Facebook post that she since deleted, but 6 other actors earlier had accused him of sexual harassment or sexual assault. And what she's saying is that he forced himself on her one night about 12 years ago when she was drunk. And now she's saying she's willing to put her life on the line, her career on the line, and to testify in court if that's what she has to do, to get the truth out about this man. And Warner Brothers, they've severed ties with him. Is it Gal Gadot or Gail Gadot, the woman who's playing Wonder Woman? I saw that she was saying that if he's going to be a part of the next Wonder Woman sequel, that she's out. Now, I haven't seen Wonder Woman, but I know a lot of people are loving this lady as Wonder Woman and loving her in that role. So it sounds like I guess maybe that's why Warner Brothers severed ties with him. I don't know if that's the if if Wonder Woman is the Warner Brothers production or if they were working with Brett Ratner on something else. But yeah, if y'all know any more about Brett Ratner, put it in the comments and I'll take a read and see what's going on. Let's see. Okay, so Rido Boy is asking, what did he do? Yeah, he's like me. I want to know. Let me go down and get the rest of these comments. Rido Boy says she's a dumbass. Women lie all the time, as I said before. Women lied on me. Yeah, Rido Boy shared with us last week that he had an ex-girlfriend accuse him of rape, and thankfully that accusation wasn't able to go anywhere. Al Franken thing was crazy. Yeah, and that was a huge story. So Rido Boy, I'll write that down as something to discuss next week. I'm just trying to get everything, y'all. There was no way, y'all, that I could even talk about all of these stories. We would be here till Tuesday on listening to my live, trying to talk about everybody who did something. But I'll get the scoop on Al Franken, and we can talk about him next week. I'm sure there's going to be a whole nother list of people by the time we do this again next Sunday. King says he messed up Donald Trump, and everyone is talking about it. And he was in the Illuminati devil stuff. I meant Donald Trump. Okay, so you're not talking anything about Eminem having any kind of sexual assault. I don't know how much good. Okay, so on to the next topic. And this one, let's see here, is hot off the presses, y'all. While I was doing my research for all the ones that I had written down, the names that I had written down that I needed to research before I came on this live, I hopped back on to Twitter to get some more information, and then I see Russell Simmons is trending. And I'm curious as to why, so I click on his name to see, and he now has been accused of sexual assault by a model who I've never heard of. Her name is Carrie Clausen Kaligi, and she says that he sexually assaulted her when she was 17 years old. And while Brett Ratner, yes, the guy who we were just talking about, Brett Ratner, watched. And she says that she asked Ratner, help me, while it was happening, and that Brett Ratner did nothing but just looked and let it happen. Now, Russell Simmons has come out since these accusations have been made today, and he says that he completely and unequivocally, in his word, denies it. And the thing is with Russell Simmons that people aren't finding it hard to believe, and I think that a lot of people, frankly, have been waiting for Russell Simmons' name to come up in all the stuff that's going on. Again, he denies it. This is all alleged until something else happens. But people aren't having a problem believing that Russell Simmons would do this because we all know, or a lot of people know, that he married his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons, when she was only 17. I believe he was 35 at the time. Now, I don't know how old he was supposed to have been when this sexual assault occurred against this girl, Carrie Clausen, Kaligi. But anyway, that's what's going on there. What do y'all think? Did Russell possibly do this or not? Um, let's see. I'm going back to the comments now. Let's see here. Okay, we got Right Up Boy saying, yeah, Eminem said a lot about Trump, but it was all stuff said before, and it was also BS. King says, my friend Hazel just went live. Be right back if I can. Okay, thank you. We'll see you if we're here. If we're not, because I want to kind of keep these to no more than an hour and 30 minutes. I feel like we went a little bit long last week. So I'm going to try to target for an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. Rido Boy says, I might be the only one, but I hate Trump less and less as his term goes on. King says, I hate him too. Oh, well, okay. Sounds like Rido Boy is starting to like him. Hang on just a second, y'all. I'll be right back. Can y'all hear me? I'm coming. Don't be mad. I'm right here. Okay. Back. So, okay. Well, let's go on and move it on down. Now we got Tom Sizemore, another story coming out of The Hollywood Reporter. He's an actor, and apparently when he was filming the movie Born Killers, not to be confused with Natural Born Killers, but he was in both movies. While he was filming Born Killers in 2003, the actor Tom Sizemore was removed from the movie set for violating an 11-year-old girl who was an actress on the movie. And this happened in 2003. And of course, again, we have to say allegedly, but there were 12 cast and crew members that came forward with this information and told The Hollywood Reporter. It was a 2003, and the movie was being filmed in Utah, and apparently he touched an 11-year-old actress's genitals. The actress, she is unnamed, and when the victim themselves don't come forward, I think that just adds even more credibility to the story, because it's not like this is somebody who's come out looking for fame, but these are other people speaking up on her behalf, saying that, hey, this is something that happened, and this is something that people need to know. So, the 11-year-old actress, her parents did not press charges at the time. And Tom Sizemore was just asked to leave the set. Nothing criminal happened. So Tom Sizemore was invited back to the set for reshoots in Malibu. But now that victim is exploring legal options to press charges against Tom Sizemore and her parents, who, did not stand up for her. And it seems like they were more worried about her being able to have an acting career than her getting justice for this man touching her genitals when she was just a kid. So when these charges had come up against him on that movie set, he had just recently been convicted of physically abusing and harassing his ex-girlfriend, Heidi Fleiss. If that name sounds familiar, it's because she was that Hollywood madam that everybody was talking about, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he served half a year in prison for what he did to Heidi Fleiss. So, before I go on to the next comment, let me take another look at these. Before I go on to the next topic, let me go back to your comments. Rido Boy says, I wouldn't say I like Trump, I just don't feel like he is the worst person the media wants us to believe. Russell Simmons also liked young girls, and in his old weirdo Hollywood young white girls, he's an old weirdo. Hollywood seems to have a lot of them. Yeah, I do agree with that. Are there any more comments? Okay. So yeah. Any more comments on Russell Simmons, y'all? Next we have Wes Goodman. the Republican state representative from Ohio. This is a man who is known to talk about family values and his Christian beliefs and natural marriage being between a man and a woman. Well, he just recently resigned because he was found with a dick in his ass in his office. Yeah, he was caught having sex with a man in his office, and supposedly there's a videotape that I see a lot of people on Twitter are asking for. He's resigned and he is asking for privacy now for himself and his family. He's married. He's a very anti-LGBTQ lawmaker, and he makes it very clear, that he, believes in natural marriage between one man and one woman, and that's it. And you know, loves to just that common thing that you hear about, just all extra Christian and extra right, and but a hypocrite to the core. So, not accusations, because he did resign. He resigned, and so it is what it is with good old Wes Goodman. But I cannot stand a hypocrite. I can't stand a hypocrite. So anyway, that's what's happening with him. And since I see y'all talking about Trump, I will go on and briefly talk about another thing that happened today, and then y'all can just tell me whatever y'all want to talk about. We have right now on Twitter, or at least it was also trending right before I came on to do this one, because I tried to go live earlier, and King came in here, but well, no, he didn't come in the live. He saw it like right after I finished. I waited 5 minutes and nobody came, so I just cut it. But anyway, when I went back online and just do a little bit more research, back on Twitter, and then Trump versus LeVar Ball. That's kind of what's trending now. Actually, LeVar Ball is trending because Donald Trump tweeted, and I quote, I'm quoting his tweet, now that the three basketball players are out of China and saved from years in jail, LeVar Ball, the father of LiAngelo, is unaccepting of what I did for his son, and that shoplifting is no big deal. I should have left them in jail! Exclamation point. Okay, so y'all know last week we talked about LeVar Ball, LeVar Ball's son, LiAngelo Ball, being accused of stealing out of a store in China, out of a Louis Vuitton store in China. And I was saying, that it was odd that LeVar Ball wasn't being extremely vocal about it. And I was thinking either he needs to get more details, or he's probably actually worried because, his son could end up in China for a long time. They don't play in China. They don't seem to like black people, and they don't really seem to be that fond of Americans. And I don't think, that I don't think that Trump's demeanor in general, he's not a good statesman. And I don't think that his demeanor in general is really helping the image of Americans across the board as it goes. But now, here's what I'm unclear about, because, okay, I will say if Trump did anything to get those young men out of China and back to the U.S., then yeah, quite naturally, there should be a thank you for it. But let it come. I hate when anyone, and I don't care, even on a presidential level, even on this level, I hate when someone does something for someone and then they just wait and sit back and expect the thank you and expect the praise. That's what you're supposed to do. And to say that, you should have left them in jail. His actions and his speech is just so unpresidential, and that's my issue with Trump. I'll be honest with y'all. I'll tell you, I did not vote for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton in this last election. This is my first time ever voting for a third-party candidate because I don't like either one of them. But Trump is especially unpresidential in the way that he presents himself, and Yeah, like I said, if he did do anything, and if y'all know what his involvement was, if any, in getting these young men out of China and back to America, then please let me know, because I don't know. But if he did play any part in it, well, yes, quite frankly, Leangelo and those two young men should thank him. But they don't have to tap dance and be extra happy about it. Thank you for getting us here, and that's all that he's owed. But you don't demand a thank you for doing your job. And that's my issue with it. What are your thoughts? Let me go back to these comments, because I see that there are some more comments coming in. Let's see here. Um, okay, Right Up Boy says he dated Kimberly Simmons when she was underage. This is what he likes. He's a pedo, plain and simple. Yeah, it seems kind of like he is. And I never really paid attention, but as soon as these allegations came out, it kind of just made sense. Like, yeah, maybe it is true. I mean, I think that this is one that most people are kind of willing to believe. Um, right up what says, I do love anti-gay hypocrites. Yes, this Wes Goodman, like, oh my gosh. And it's like those are kind of the ones that I feel like we have to really keep an eye on. The ones who are just way too straight laced. Um, I just feel like I feel like they're always the ones with secrets that they're hiding. Like nobody's that perfect. Nobody's that Christian. Nobody's that conservative. And so yeah, I think it's very funny that now he and his family need their privacy. Like, no, I don't think that it's gonna quite go like that. I think that you're going to be a trending topic on Twitter and on all social media for a few days. And I don't really have a problem if somebody does release this videotape. You've been hammering your convictions down people's throats, and just saying what everyone else is doing in their bedroom is wrong. Then no, you don't get to live this down and just go live in peace and quiet with your family now. That's not how it works. um Dee says it's always the extremely homophobic preachers who turn out to be gay. That's so true. That's so true. And whether you mean preaching on a pulpit or just preaching in general, about your beliefs, because you don't just have to be in a church to preach, but it is always the ones who are the loudest speaking against it seem to be the ones who are, the ones who get found out that's exactly what they like. I agree with you, Dee 100%. Rida Boy says, I'm liberal, but I would really hate Hillary as president. At least I can laugh at Trump. You know what? I kind of agree with that. I couldn't see myself voting for either one, and I didn't. I follow Trump on Twitter, not because I respect him or anything, but because he is very funny to me. And like even that tweet that I read, his spelling and grammar is bad. He's a mess. He's a mess. He is funny to laugh at, and it would be a lot more funny if this was just a movie and not actual, like real life. But gotta take a laugh where you can take it, so you don't get stressed out. Um, I think Pence is gay, y'all. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he was, right, that boy. Um, they should say thank you. Also, I think Trump is on an Asia tour. Yeah, I don't know if he still is, but I know that I've been seeing, different pictures of him, uh, with different Asian officials. Didi, you're right. Yeah, and I agree. They should say thank you if they haven't. Now, what I did see, and I'll get more on this story too, because like I said, this just came out like right before I decided to go live and try a second time to see if I could have any people come in. And again, thank you all for coming in. Thank you for watching, for commenting, for giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody's participation. Um, but I do think that they should thank him. what I've heard is that or what I've seen was that LeVar Ball was downplaying Trump's um, participation in getting those young men back to the States. So I don't, if he is, then he's out of line for that, Um, and if he has issued a thank you, then I think that that should be enough. I don't know if Trump wants a thank you on a golden platter and he wants a banner flown over the White House that says thank you. It just seems like he wants way, way too much. But yeah, if they haven't thanked him, that is the very least they can do. They do need to thank him if he played any role at all in getting them out of here, because we know, y'all, we know that China doesn't play, that a lot of these foreign countries, they don't play. When it comes to things like littering, you could be gone, to prison for 3 years and never hear from anyone again, but they actually went somewhere and stole something in a country that has very strict laws. So if Trump played any part in getting them back here, yes, he does deserve a thank you for that. But that's all that he deserves, and he should wait for it, though. Just be gracious. I wish that he were more of a gracious person. You know, um, Anytime that we do something that people should thank us for, they should just thank us. It shouldn't be us telling them, hey, I loaned you $500. You need to tell me thank you. Like, that's such an ugly way to be. That's my thing. Y'all have any comments on anything we've talked about, or did y'all see anything that was interesting that I haven't talked about? Mm. Let's see. So Rye Doughboy says, yeah, a lot of far leftists refuse to give Trump or conservatives any respect, but the same can be said for the far right. I 100% agree, Rye Doughboy, and myself feeling, if I had to label myself, I would say I'm very moderate. Um, I look at both sides and I just feel that they're both incredibly stupid, and it's just the extremists that I can't deal with. And even like looking at the way that this stuff is going down with all of the sexual assault and sexual abuse and sexual molestation claims, when someone comes out and their claims against someone who's a liberal or claims against someone who's a conservative, then one side is fighting the whole side. Well, oh, you liberals, y'all need to put Al Franken in. Oh, well, you conservatives, what are y'all gonna do with Ray Moore? And it's like, okay, why are y'all fighting each other about who's creepy in your party? And honestly, I do though have to say that it seems like the Republicans and the conservatives, they seem more like they kind of want to protect their sexual abusers, including President Trump, who has been called out. I don't know, again, if what has come out against him is true, but he's had allegations made against him. But it seems like the right seems like they are more willing to just cover it up and, oh, let's not talk about that, but let's talk about Al Franken, let's talk about Anthony Weiner, let's talk about, Harvey Weinstein. And my thing is, let's talk about everybody. Everybody who is a sexual predator of any kind, everyone who is using their power to get sex out of women or men or boys or girls, they're all creeps regardless of their political affiliation. That's what I would like to see. Let's just everybody call everybody out on the bullshit regardless of their political affiliation. Can we do that? Can't they be, can't you be a Democrat and call a Democrat a creep? Can't you be a Republican and call another Republican a creep if that's what they are? That's my issue with it all. Let's see. Right up one says, this might be the only time in history it's better to be in the middle. And I usually find myself kind of in the middle. I see both sides of a lot of issues all the time. Sometimes there's only one side to be seen. Right is right and wrong is wrong, but sometimes there are gray areas, and yeah, anyway. But I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing from either side right now, to be honest. But it does seem to me, just from what I'm seeing, that I have to give Republicans the edge on being more willing to cover up for their party members who are accused of this type of stuff. So it's just it's just a weird time to be an American. Any more comments? Again, before I get off, and I'll say we have 10 more minutes to go if y'all want to talk about anything. If anybody has a channel with more than 500 subscribers and you want to earn a little cash off of your subscribers, then shoot me an email right now. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and y'all can email me if that's something that y'all are interested in. Okay, so that's done. Also, what about any TV that y'all watch this week? Okay, let me tell you the TV shows that I watch. On Sundays, I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. On Mondays, I do watch Love and Hip Hop. On Tuesdays, I watch Damnation, which is a show that I started to review. Comes on the USA Network, and I'm really thankful, y'all. You know, I have less than 300 subscribers, but right now, the last time I checked, my review for Damnation for the first episode has over 450 views, and that's big for me, so I'm excited about that. I just did my review for the second episode, and that one, I think the last time I checked, only had like 89 views, but I'm thankful to be getting some traction with that, and it's a really good show, so check it out. And you can watch it for free on the USA Network website if haven't been able to catch it. And if you want to catch up on the first 2 episodes, and then we can all watch that and talk about that. I don't think anything comes on Wednesdays that I watch. On Thursdays is that when This Is Us comes on. I do watch that show. I love Sterling K. Brown. Actually, that whole cast is really good. What else, y'all? Friday, I watch Hell's Kitchen. I just got caught up with that. And there's nothing I watch on Saturday. So y'all want to do any TV talk? Oh, that's right. Serena Williams got married this past Thursday in New Orleans. Congratulations to her. I'm really happy for her. Now, I must be honest and say that I was not impressed with how Serena looked for her wedding. I think Serena is beautiful. I think that she's stunning. And I didn't like the dress. I felt like Alexis Ohanian's suit was ill-fitting. I like the idea that she had the cute theme for her wedding, I think like kind of like naming each table after one of her Grand Slam titles, and like how amazing is that you can do that. Like she's still amazing, and I'm happy for them. But it just looked like someone who had never worked with her hair just slapped a wig on her head. She I just, I feel like just the style missed the mark, but I'm really happy for her, and I hope that it does last for her sake, and for her husband's sake. I hope that they're both in it for the right reasons, that it is about love. There's been so much criticism, mostly it seems from black men who are saying, that she married down, and they're acting like she just went and got some bum off the streets, even though this man is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. They're acting like, she just got some guy who, makes $30,000 a year or something. And I just feel like they're making those comparisons because they feel like when black men of that kind of stature marry white women, then black women automatically go off and, oh, you married down. But when black women, usually when they're saying that a man married down, like they're marrying a woman who had no career, like, she was a nanny or, something like that. But, Serena is actually marrying a businessman who, I guess when he shares his sales of Reddit, he'll probably, have the kind of money that Serena Williams has. But either way, A multimillionaire is far from a bum. This isn't like a reverse situation of Mary J. Blige and Kendu Isaacs, So, and I trust that she's a good businesswoman. So if there needed to be a prenup made, I hope that she's protected in it in case, and I have to be honest, there is the possibility that he's in it for the money. I hope that that's not the case, and it doesn't seem like that, or, I don't know, y'all. I'm happy for her though, and I just hope that it works out because she has a lot of haters out there clearly who were so upset, when she got married. So I just wanted to work for her. I think she's amazing. Um, I agree about Serena's hair, but Venus' hair was so cute. I didn't even see Venus. I saw pictures of Beyonce and Kelly Rowland, and they look nice, and they look nicer than Serena. And I hate to say that, at her wedding, and they weren't like just dressed to kill or anything, but Serena didn't look great. I don't remember even seeing Venus. I gotta go through. I haven't like just like really really looked in it. I saw that she was married and kind of just glanced like at some of the highlighted pictures that Twitter had. I heard that she had all kinds of celebrities there, and I didn't even see who all they were, or maybe I saw them and just didn't recognize them because, like I said, I don't know a lot of who a lot of these famous people are. But I'm happy for her. Who else was there, Dee Dee? I'll have to go and look. Yeah. Now it'll be sad if Serena looked better than Venus. No, if Venus looked better than Serena at Serena's wedding, but and I wonder like if maybe she rushed it. Maybe this was always the date that they had planned, but I wonder like if maybe she felt like she had more time, she might have lost a little bit more weight. And I'm not trying to body shame because the girl, well, we already know when she wants to get it all the way together, she gets it all the way together, and she looks fabulous. I think that I think she's an amazing looking woman. And I know my fiance is just, head over heels about he loved him some Serena Williams. I can't say anything bad about her, but I just feel like she missed the mark on her look on her wedding. But it's not all about the look, As long as she's married to the man who's gonna love her for life, then that's what matters. And so for that, I'm thankful, and I just hope that that it works out. Anything else, y'all? Okay, yeah, I didn't talk about Serena Williams. I'm trying to think of other things that I saw. Um, I just wrote down the things that were kind of like important to me. And I guess eventually, one day, all the the stuff will die down with the Hollywood nasties. But it's not just Hollywood, because like I said, Jameis Winston got called out, the football player. Um, uh, and then of course, it spilled into the political arena. But it's been running like that, and then we had the issue with Gabby calling out her former teammate for dressing inappropriately and thereby causing her own sexual assault, which that was so weird. I'm like, y'all all wear the same damn leotard, Gabby. And I love you, Gabby, but you were just wrong for that one. Anything else, y'all, before we log off? I'm going to let it go to an hour 30. I'm at an hour 27:55. So, anything else, y'all, or anything else that y'all want me to talk about for next week? Or anything y'all want me to be on the lookout for? What TV shows do y'all watch? Okay, so I guess that must just be YouTube watchers. Y'all probably aren't big on TV. Cause I don't get any feedback. I've been wanting to just do a reality TV chat, a live chat. Sierra was there, Eva Longoria, and Kim Kardashian. Okay, I remember hearing that Kim Kardashian and Sierra were there. I think I remember hearing Sierra. I didn't remember hearing that Eva Longoria was there. Okay. Yeah, I know that she's gonna draw some big names, Dee Dee. She seems to know a lot of people. A lot of people seem to really love Serena. Do you know if was Kanye there with Kim? Because I think about that line when he said in that song, "My psychic told me she would have an ass like Serena," and that's what he was talking about. But yeah, do you know if he came? Um, Yeah, I just don't keep up with pop culture like that, but I'm glad I have y'all here. So yeah, anything again y'all want me to talk about next week, or anything y'all gotta say this week? We got 30 seconds before I log off. So if anybody wants to say anything, oh yeah, and feel free to use my email address too if y'all have questions. We can do like a mailbag. Let me know if y'all want to remain anonymous, or if y'all want your names read. If y'all want to ask me certain questions about whatever, it can be personal stuff, or advice type stuff, or you have something going on and you want to know what everybody thinks about it. We can do that kind of thing too. Okay, well, we are at an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm not going to hold y'all. I appreciate y'all all so much for coming in and clicking in on my live and staying with me, for talking to me. Y'all keep me entertained. Y'all keep me informed, because y'all know I don't know everything. But I appreciate y'all. And let's see. So, again, if there's anybody in here who has a channel and you need us to subscribe, let us know before we hit the sign off button. I'll do a countdown. And Dee Dee, thank you. Was it Black Women Band Up? Thank you. I'm trying to do ladies first. Was there any other ladies in here today? Rido Boy, thank you. King, thank you. Did anybody else contribute to the chat? Let me see. I'm just gonna run back through because I want to thank everybody. I really do, because y'all, yeah, Black Women Band Up. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, I think I got everybody. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. And if y'all are doing any lives or anything, let me know. Go and comment under one of my videos that are already up or whatever. But let's go on and do a countdown. Y'all have a great Sunday and have a great week. And let's catch up next Sunday with hopefully some better news. All right. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're done. Bye, y'all.